Oh, there was one right there at the bank. There we go. There's a good one. Dang, lost my crankbait. There's a fish. Big fish. Another big one. All right, we're gonna give Penns Creek another try today. I've been out here, I don't know, hit or miss, maybe once or twice a week just to check. But I'm thoroughly gonna check it today. And we're at the end of March now, so it's getting closer and closer to them coming up into the creeks and spawning, doing their thing. So let's see what happens. Oh, there was one right there at the bank. Oh, I was reeling it up and he came and swiped at it. Caught me off guard, but okay. That's a great sign. I love when the creeks fill up with smallmouth because there's giants that start to come up through here early spring. See if we can get this one a bit. It wasn't a giant, but he wasn't a bad one. I don't think I got a hook in him, but he might have came up and seen me. As you can tell, the creek is a little high yet. It's moving pretty quick, but I'm thinking once it dies down, the current slows down a little bit, levels drop. These smallmouth that are in here, which I'm assuming it's not very much right now, but the ones that are here will probably be in a better feeding mood than they are right now. There we go. There's a good one. This is exactly why I wanted to try the creek. It's a really good one. Come here, you beast. Penns Creek stud right there. That is a giant smallmouth. Like I said, early spring, so start to head up the creek, start to spawn, get ready to spawn. This is what you're gonna find. That's why it pays to hit up the creek every now and then, because you just never know. That is a beautiful smallmouth. All right, one last look at this beauty. Let's let it go. See if we can get on another one. Thanks for the fight, big girl. I don't know if I mentioned what I'm throwing, but I'm just throwing around this BERKLEY creature bait, some type of like trench hog or something along those lines. It's just a 3/0 hook, and then I have it rigged up with a bullet weight here, 3/16 ounce. This is a Max 4 tackle tungsten bullet weight. But yeah, let's see if we can get another good one in here. What I have found in early spring is it's kind of hit or miss. Usually when they first get up in the creeks, they have to come up when the water's high because that's the only way they can actually get up through all this from the mouth of the river. But once the creek dies down a little bit, as far as height of it, seems like they become a lot more active. There's some days you come out here, can't stop catching them, and some days kind of like this to where they're a little hesitant to bite. So if you just take your time, work it slow in the bottom, you usually find one or two good ones. But then again, like I said, some days it's just giant after giant after giant. It gets crazy. I mean, I've been on a jig kick for a little bit now, but if you guys have creeks in your area, or you're from my area, I mean, I can probably promise you that they would even eat a crankbait or a chatterbait or spinnerbait, even some type of moving bait. So I just have this rigged up because the water's still a little bit cold, but I believe it's probably at that temperature to where it would definitely chase stuff, considering I caught one at the river not too long ago on a chatterbait. We kind of all just have our own personal preference or confidence baits at work, and mine's definitely a jig of some sorts. All right, I'm gonna leave the creek alone for a little bit, go try the river, see what's going on there. But I think it's safe to say the smallmouth are definitely starting to move their way up in the creek, especially in my area. So in the next couple days, couple weeks, temps start to warm up a little bit, Penns Creek should be absolutely fire. All right, back to the creek. I'm not throwing that jig anymore. I'm actually gonna throw a crankbait. As you guys saw, oh, maybe you couldn't see it in the video, but I actually saw one come up and swipe at my jig when I was reeling it in. So I want to see if I can get it to bite this crankbait, or get one to bite if there's more here. There's a fish. Oh, he pulled off. Dang it, lost my crankbait. If I can get that back. I can see it right there floating. Looks like it's going to the bank over here. I want that back. Sweet. All right, retrieved our crankbait. All right, retrieved the crankbait, got it tied back on, lost the fish prior to that. Let's see if we can get one to actually stay pinned this time. All right, a handful more casts with that crankbait and nothing, so I did switch back to this jig. Let's see if I can get one to bite it. I know there's definitely fish here. Lost that one earlier, just lost that one now. I find it hard to believe that that's the only fish in here. Meaning that same one from earlier probably wasn't that one, it's probably a different one. All right, it's the very next day. It actually looks like the creek cleared up a little bit. It's still high, but today I'm gonna throw around a chatterbait instead of that crankbait or that jig. See if we can get on some other big smallmouth in here. There's one. Kind of let it fall down a little bit farther. That was the softest bite too. Dude, I've been waiting all year. I mean, I know it's only the end of March, but I've been waiting all year for Penns Creek to finally fire up. Not a giant, but here we go. Another one out of the creek. Thanks for the fight, bud. I find it hard to believe that there's not a bass right here in this little pocket. I think I'm gonna cut this chatterbait off real quick. Tie on a jig. Oh no, I guess there isn't anything here. There's a fish. Big fish. Another big one. I don't think it's as big as that one yesterday, but that is still a really nice fish right there. Thanks for the fight, bud. And the jig I'm using is a North Branch tackle. This is a 1/8 ounce football jig with a 3/0 hook on there. And I just have it paired with a BERKLEY black and blue creature bait. All right, well, they're definitely in the creek, but it's not complete madness yet. It's only the beginning. Every year, it always starts off like this. They start to move up, and then just one day you come out and you can't stop catching them, and it's big one after big one. But like I said, we're not there yet. So I'm actually gonna head to the river. Since I lost that jig, I'm gonna put the chatterbait back on. Let's see if we can get a duo, Penge Creek, and a Susquehanna River smallmouth today. All right, well, no catches here at the river tonight, but the other evening I was out and I actually caught a really big smallmouth, so I'm gonna post that clip now. But in the meantime, I'm also gonna end the video here. Like I said, watch this clip because it was a really big smallmouth. But I'll definitely see you guys soon. If you haven't started to fish the creeks yet, I'd definitely give it a try. But I'll see you guys soon. Stay fishing, stay anchored. God bless you. Just had a bite right there. Got him. That's a good one. That is a stud of a smallmouth. Just the slightest of a tap, and then bam, look at that one. I just stopped over at Penge Creek to see if they're moving up the creek yet. Nothing, but I believe that it's probably close to 20. That is a giant. Thanks for the first bite. Probably the best bite of the day. It's a nice one. Thanks for the fight, bud.